This is the original Google Home. And this is its new replacement, the Nest Audio. So, does it sound any better? And if so, how much better? Hello and welcome back to Switched On Network. I'm Paul FP, and this is the new Nest Audio from Google, which replaces this, the original Google Home from 2016. Just like the updated Nest Mini, which launched last year, one of the key features and improvements being touted on this new version is improved sound quality, as more of us use smart speakers these days to listen to music. I mean, it's even got the word audio in its name now, and is much more of a proper loudspeaker with a separate 75mm woofer and 90mm tweeter, instead of the original Google Home's single 50mm speaker. I compared the Nest Mini to the original Google Home Mini last year, and you can watch that video by clicking the I up there or via the link in this video's description. And I'll be doing exactly the same in this video, as well as getting a bit more scientific with some frequency response analysis too. You'll want to be wearing your headphones for this video, and if you're in the market for some new headphones, these new Bluetooth noise cancelling headphones from Sony are a fantastic investment. Check the video description for more about them. Now, before we get into the test between these two speakers, a quick note on how the test will work and how it's set up. If you're not interested in the setup, that's fine. Look at the timestamps in the video description and you can skip past this next bit. So for this test, I'll be placing both the original Google Home and the new Nest Audio side by side with acoustic foam panels surrounding them to form a little makeshift acoustic chamber of sorts. The bass and treble are both set to 0, or the middle position on both speakers in the Google Home app, and they're both on 100% volume. I'm recording audio with a professional-grade, broadcast-quality RØDE NTG1 shotgun microphone at equal distance from both speakers. The RØDE microphone is recording straight into a Sony HXR-NX80 with the audio levels set to manual, not auto, and of course set at the same level for each test. After last year's test, someone commenting on Reddit criticised the setup for recording straight into my camera. Now, whilst this is being recorded directly into a camera, bear in mind this isn't just a consumer DSLR, this is a professional broadcast-grade camera with a high-quality recorder, linear PCM 2-channel 16-bit 48kHz, if you're interested in the specs. And again, it's consistent between tests, so for the purposes of comparison, any shortcomings will be the same and, in isolation here at least, cancel each other out. I'm not doing any audio processing at all on the audio for the test parts of this video, and the final export from Premiere Pro won't do any loudness normalization. Obviously YouTube will do its own thing too, so once again I've uploaded the original untouched WAV files to Patreon, so if you're a supporter on there, firstly, thank you, and secondly, you can download those and have a listen. The links in the video description. I'm going to play the same track on each speaker and switch between them during the song without telling you which one you're listening to. Again, I'll call them A and B. First up, I'll be playing Penniless by Venus de Milo, which is from their 2020 EP Northern Lights. It starts with vocals on top of some steady kicks on the bass drum, so watch out for the clarity and how deep and powerful those thuds are. At about the 30-second mark, the whole band joins in so we can hear the full range of frequencies all playing at the same time, especially in the chorus where we hear low, mid and high frequencies. Listen carefully and pay particular attention to whether you can pick out the lows, mids and highs clearly, as opposed to them all merging together into a single mush of sound. So pop on your headphones, have a listen and comment to which you think sounds better and why. Try not to read any other comments first, just listen and then type in what you think.
Cut back and spend it better somewhere else. Escape the black in vain, you try to save yourself and survive. Cause I've tried to make the pennies turn themselves to pounds, to ease the ache that brings your head down to the ground. Just hold on. Cut back, it's a game of swings and roundabouts. Live in the black or get a mortgage and a house and survive. But when the change in your pocket's all you've got to your name, and you're running round and round looking for someone to blame, but just remember, it's not yours. And now I've emptied out my pockets and I'm drawing a line, and once I've paid off all my debts and taken out my mind, you on.
Thanks to the Venus de Milo boys for letting me use their song to test out the speakers. If you liked it, then definitely check them out. I've put all their links in the video description. So before we move on to the next test, if you've not already commented, press pause and comment now saying which you preferred, A or B, and why. Now, Google's promotional video for the Nest Audio shows the speaker playing Beethoven's Fifth, so before we generate some frequency analysis graphs for both speakers, I thought, why not listen to some Beethoven as well? So in order to test the difference between the speakers on some orchestral music, here's Beethoven's Symphony No. 5 in C minor. So again, before we move on to the frequency analysis test, if you've not already commented with which you preferred on that piece of music, press pause now and comment saying which you preferred, A or B, and why. Now, another measure of how good a speaker is how well it's able to emit sound at a consistent volume across the range of frequencies that a human ear can hear, ranging from low pitch through the midtones and into high frequencies. It's commonly accepted that human ears can hear sounds ranging from 20 to 20,000 hertz or cycles per second, although the human auditory system is most sensitive to frequencies between 2,000 and 5,000 hertz. So if a speaker's frequency response can deliver sounds throughout this full range of frequencies, then it can deliver all the sounds that a human is capable of hearing. You can plot a graph of frequency of sound versus volume it's recorded at, and this is called a frequency response graph. A theoretically perfect speaker playing a test tone would be a flat line, i.e. all frequencies reproduced at the exact same volume relative to each other. The reason you don't want a speaker to be changing the relative volume of tones on a recording is because that would sound unnatural and different to how the track or piece of music was produced in the studio. For example, you want the mid-range to be at the correct volume because that's where most vocals sit, and if the mid-range is too quiet, then you won't be able to clearly hear the lyrics of a song over the other instruments in the band. On the flip side, too loud a mid-range and you might not hear the drums properly, which are of course the most important instrument in any band. To test these two speakers, I'm going to use Adobe Audition to generate a tone which sweeps through all the frequencies from 0 to 24,000 Hz, playing them all at the exact same volume. To your ear, it sounds like this. Audition can also analyze any piece of sound and plot the results on a graph. If we analyze the perfect tone we just created, we of course get a perfect straight line, equal volume at all frequencies. How will that line look after the tone has been played out of each speaker? Let's test it and find out. Now, to do this really properly and scientifically, I would need access to an anechoic chamber which completely absorbs all sound reflections, as well as a properly calibrated precision reference measurement microphone. The budget for this video doesn't quite stretch to buying one of those, but I'll be using the same RØDE NTG1 microphone as in the previous tests. Again, this is a professional broadcast quality microphone with low noise circuit, so whilst it won't be as accurate as an engineering reference mic, at least it will be consistent between the two tests. And that's what this video is for. It's not to produce a highly accurate frequency response graph, it's to compare the graphs generated for each of the two speakers. So any inaccuracies or interruptions stemming from my equipment can be discounted if they're constant and we're comparing them relatively. So I'll bring the recorded clip of the two speakers playing my test tone into Adobe Audition, and you can clearly see on the waveform there the 2 points where the tone's being played. The first is out of the Nest Audio and the second from the Google Home. I'll select just that portion of the waveform and copy it to a new audio file to isolate it, and then enable the frequency analysis window. I'll select the entire waveform and hit Scan Selection, and there we have our frequency response graph for the Nest Audio. As you can see, the sound out of a loudspeaker is far from a perfect straight line, with a noticeable drop around 2 kHz, again at 6 kHz, and a smaller drop at 12 kHz. Looking at the Google Home's graph, it's a similar story, although there's a much bigger variation throughout the range, and you can see how those mids and highs are significantly quieter than the lows, which accounts for the slightly bassy, muffled sound in comparison to the Nest Audio. So, whilst neither of these is anything like approaching a flat, straight line, I'd call that a win for the Nest Audio. Not bad considering it costs under £100 and does a whole lot more besides. You'll also have noticed the hard drop-off at 16 kHz. It's identical on both speakers, so that indicates to me that it's probably down to the microphone, which is meant to have a frequency range of 20 Hz to 20 kHz, so maybe it's not quite getting those last 4000 Hz, eh, RØDE? If anyone from RØDE is watching, please feel free to comment with your thoughts, or get in touch with me. Here's an interesting test. I'm going to play the frequency analysis tone whilst having the analysis window open. Listen with your eyes closed and then press pause when the sound goes silent for you. Then open your eyes and look at the frequency measurement you stopped at. Comment below and tell me at what frequency you can no longer hear it. And if you're happy to, tell me how old you are. Obviously this is fairly unscientific because it largely depends on how good your headphones and ears are, but if enough people comment, I'll be really interested to see if there's a common theme around a given range. I'm 35, and with both my computer speakers and my headphones, it goes silent for me somewhere between 17 and 18 kHz. I'll be interested to see your comments. Okay, so now it's time for the moment of truth, and I'll reveal which was A and which was B. I think it's pretty obvious which sounded better, and it will come as no surprise that B was the new Nest Audio and A was the original Google Home Mini. The winner in my mind, or to my ears, was clearly that new Nest Audio. Google have certainly produced a far better, more music-focused speaker, and there's a night and day difference between the two when played side by side. It's like the new Nest Audio speaker introduces the very idea of treble and the notion of clarity of sound throughout, especially in the mids and highs. It's also much crisper and clearer when listening to speech too, so although sound quality might not be the most important thing in the world when listening to, say, a podcast or the news, it certainly does sound a lot nicer. Have a listen to this clip from the Switched On Network podcast on both speakers.
I did see a story in, I think it was Bloomberg last year, about Amazon admitting that employees are listening. So people, humans are
human beings,
listening to that audio.
Yeah.
I did see a story in, I think it was Bloomberg last year, about Amazon admitting that employees are listening. So people, humans are
human beings,
listening to that audio.
Yeah.
You can subscribe to the Switched On Network podcast on all podcasting apps, as well as watch the videos here on this channel too. And yes, I did include this as a shameless plug. So let me know if you agree with my analysis of the new Nest Audio and what your thoughts are, and if you'll be buying one. And if you like this sort of technical video, please give this video a thumbs up so that I know you liked it, and leave a comment below with what other speakers and other tech you'd like to see pitted against each other. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, follow me and Switched On Network on Twitter and Instagram, and why not come and hang out in our Facebook group? Links for all that are in the video description. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I hope I'll see you again soon.